Good afternoon, this is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com. Today is March 25th, and I'm going to do an analysis today on a bullish gap up, which was Apol. I want to tell you how I call this today in the room, for people that wanted me to look at it. This morning it was gapping around this area here. It was a bullish gap up that was around this number here. I said this is not a good bullish gap. It's not a golden gap. You can't short it because it's not a short. You can't really buy it because it's not a good quality bullish gap. But if you want to do anything with it, you buy it. If it sets up in the first 5 to 15 minutes of the day and sits on the 50-period moving average, you buy it for a rally up. And I really said 19. 19 was really the all you were looking at with this. I mean, this just didn't have a big 1925. It went over that. It went up to 1963 or really 1950. It just didn't have a big target for me in it, though, because of the fact that it wasn't a quality bullish gap. And today's trading proved that. In order to be a corrective gap, this chart is so damaged. Things have to do so much to fix themselves. 39.50, say 40 bucks. This thing gaps up to 39.50, $40. It's back up and you can buy it. Otherwise, you can't buy this. You can't buy this. It's in a downtrend, a strong downtrend, mind you. And that's why the gap didn't work out today, and it's not working out. And it's just there's nothing to do here. It had a play in it this morning if you were aggressive with it to do it for just a move, just a quick buy it, get out, poof, get it. You would have had to buy it right here immediately. 1846 was the entry. And if you wanted to play it tight, which I would have because this wasn't a great gap, the stop really should have been under 1834. And this is a small spread. So you could have put it like at 1832, 1830, 15-cent stop. And if you held it into the run up here, it went over 1915, and you could have held it up here and got out. You could have gotten out before the 10 o'clock reversal time and taken it to 1950, 1960. You might have gotten out here, though, knowing that it wasn't great, or do buy bar until it continued up, or buy bar until you're out. And if you would have been out here at 1950, at the break of 1950. But this did a nice, quick, sharp rally up into 10 o'clock because it did end up opening and holding that 50, and so it had quick move up. But it wasn't really a good gap today to buy. And that's why it looks like this. You can only hold things for follow-through and bigger targets when they're quality, high-rated gaps. That's why I have a 26-point rating system that I use to rate gaps. And you can actually flip it and use it for long gaps. I don't personally trade bullish gaps, but you can. But I certainly know how to read them. And I absolutely know what they're supposed to do. And I knew this thing today, if it wasn't really going anywhere at all. So you had to take it quick, play it, buy it, poof, get out. And then when it started to fall in on itself, ooh, you know, and I'm sure what happened here is what many, many times happens. Let's look at the 15. So this fell in hard very quickly, and then people try to buy it in here and support because they think it's a good bullish gap, but it's not. Just because it gapped up to the 50, it doesn't mean it's good. I said you could buy it if it's set up quickly, fast, hurriedly, and it did. So you take it, you're out. Book it. Boom, out. Had a 15-cent stop. You got a nice rally up in it. You got $1 if you held it up to 1950 from the entry. Aggressive, but you can do it. This is nothing you would want to do then, though. It's gone under the low of the day. At this point now, to buy this in here, it was at 1810. You would have been buying it down in here. It was a terrible buy, and yet people will do that because they think that it's good, but it's not. As far as the gap itself, the quality of the gap was not good. That's why you don't buy it. This was a buy in the morning quick and get out. This was not a buy in here where people bought. And if they bought, they either didn't take their, if they didn't take their profits out here quick, they got stopped out again. Look, it went through here. And now look at it. It looks like, terrible. This is lower tomorrow now because of today. The way that it went today, went under the low and came in red actually and was green, solid, big green up here at one day at today. This is a short for tomorrow down in here. Now, this isn't something I do. It's not a gap trade. It wasn't a bearish gap, and this is nothing that I do. But, I mean, this will come in some more, and I'll look to short this when it sets up again as a bearish gap for continuation down if it does it. Otherwise, it's got a long, long way to go to fix itself on this one, baby. Pretty damaged chart. Pretty damaged chart, and you really would have had to be in this for a long time. Look at this. $89 this was at one point. It's incredible. These moves on these things, the swing trades, these gaps when they set up is incredible. Incredible to me. Oh, look at that. Lovely. So this gap did not work out today in either direction for the reasons that I said. It was not a good bullish gap. It wasn't a bearish gap, and I don't fade these things, and it wasn't a fade. If anything, it was a buy in the 50. You do a scalp trade, take it for a move. As long as it sets up right away with a tight stop, you really can be aggressive with it if you want to. But you got to be tight, tight, tight. And if you did it, you got paid, boom, you would have had to get out. If you were looking for $20 or anything big on this, you didn't make it, and you got crushed, and then it went under the low of the day. After something goes under the low of the day, don't buy it, please. It's just so dangerous here. When this does this, it's too late for it to go under the low of the day. It actually went under the low of the day here past 10 o'clock. So there's no way this thing is fixing itself today. So this is Apol. This is March 25th. I'm Melissa with thestockswoosh.com. If you're interested in more information on my 26-point rating system that I teach on how to find these gaps and pick these gaps and see which ones are good and see which ones are not good, like, for example, this one today, then email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. Thanks and have a great night.